Well, welcome back to Factorio, building the Hyperbase, where we're definitely running out of time before 17 is going to drop, although it keeps getting pushed back a little bit, which is helpful, I guess, for achieving our objective with this, because if the science changes, it's really not going to be that easy to convert this base to a 17 base. So we are in the process of trying to ramp up everything to the full 8K science per minute production, and with that in mind, I went ahead, and it's not complete, as you can see. We're still missing, well, modules and power, but I have done most of what we needed here for enlarging the yellow science build to its full 8K per minute potential. But of course, we need this to, well, it's connected, but it needs to have a return, and we need a second iron, and we need to fill in all of these modules and everything else that we're missing down here. So I filled up with a bunch of modules and beacons with that in mind. Now, the other thing that we need to be very conscious of is this whole arrangement here, where we have the old-fashioned version. I mean, this is not really acceptable. Too many entities flying around, so wherever we find these now, we need to stamp them, nip them in the bud, and move towards our direct mining. I mean, we are at mining productivity 418, which, if you didn't realize, gives you a big bonus. It gives you a bonus of 834%, so every once back and forth you get not 1 but 9.34. So what we want to do is come back here when we've got some space and replace all of, well, remove all the miners, and do that everywhere that we find it. That one is fine, but there certainly are some other places where that would be useful. And as you can see, there's still quite a bit of unbuilt area. I need to be over here a bit. That might have been too much. Yes, it's just okay. So those are the two that are fully built, and this is where we start needing the modules and maybe some beacons as well. We'll soon see. Certainly over here some modules were required. Let's have a sip of my wine it is tonight. It doesn't look like we actually needed too many of the speed modules. Perhaps down here where we've added some more beacons. And it doesn't actually look like we needed all those beacons. We're still missing a few productivity modules. It's slightly awkward. So these things don't look like they're ghosts. It's just not getting provided with power. Why isn't it getting provided with power? Well, I don't even carry any of those, so I think what we'll do is we'll actually get rid of those medium poles, because they're not that helpful. In fact, I'll show you in just a second why I say that. If you have a look here under electrical network, this number is getting very high, and it's basically count the number of electrical entities that you have, and that creates whatever this is. It's basically a linear multiplication of the number of electrical entities you have. So if you use something that you need far less of, like substations, you will save on that particular calculation. So what did we use then? We've picked up 32 of those and replaced them with like 8. It's not, well, it's below 1.8. Of course, it's going to make a liar of me now, isn't it? That's basically how that works. So that's why I use substations everywhere that I can. Now the problem with substations, well, the problem with our whole thing is this has just a huge number of substations in it. Each one of these things is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like 16, and there's 4 in each one, so there's 64 every time it loads a panel. 64 by I think it's 10 by 20, so 64 by 200. 6 into about 12,800 by 5, 4. You're talking about 100,000 electrical network items just here. So having bigger substations could save you quite a lot on your massive solar builds as well. How are we going on this, by the way? 1.1, that's almost up to 1 million. That should get to 1.2 before that gets to 1 million, I would have thought. Anyway, so we have more than we needed of the beacons, which is interesting, but we are going to need more beacons, so I shouldn't get too excited by that just yet, because what we need to do obviously is make another iron smelting. We don't need F5 on, so that's basically a copy of this. Let's just get a new blueprint. I don't know how the return is going to work just yet. I don't know if we're actually going to be turning a corner there. So let's get rid of that. And there goes all of our UPS and FPS. Makes the plane seem even less responsive than usual. Okay, rotate, rotate, rotate. I really want to see this, how it fits into the big picture. That's a big enough picture for me. For sure. So I guess I will put those about there. And let's get out of this massive Invini zoom. 2.8 frames per second, awesome. You can go there. And this will use up all of these extra beacons that we had. Along with a few other things. But this is kind of the, aside from connecting all of these things up so that they all work, this is the last major build that we actually need to enable our full yellow science. So it is kind of exciting, really. Let's get rid of some trees because they cause endless problems. Left to their own problematic devices. It didn't seem like it was quite so bad up in this one, but we better just make sure. I'll just get rid of all of those because they're kind of in the way. And this is our path in. Let's just get rid of all of that too, and that's in the way. Oh, what's going on? Oh, that's being silly. Yeah, we don't really want it picking up all of our wood trash. What we do want, though, is this is a perfect example of one of those areas that we want to clear. So let's come over here and remove all of the miners. And we'll place down our somewhat annoying alarm. So it can tell us. I'll stop that. What? Fine, take all my stuff. Yeah, it's that one that we need you to get all excited about. Now, let's find where all this stuff is going, and we'll just take it all back. That was highly unsuccessful. Right, what we need to do then is that, and then take it all back. Close enough. Let's get rid of our bots and dump all of this and fill up with those guys. How many do we need? Let's get 200. We don't need those. Let's get some more mining productivity happening. Yep, that should do. Right. Back to the starter base. Might have to check if it's got any rocket fuel. Oh, we've got some rocket fuel there. We can transfer that rocket fuel into our jet, I should think. Seems like a good idea. Come on, slow down. Okay, auto trash. We don't want wood, we don't want coal or stone. We don't want more than like 50 of that. And there we go. Stone is growing, 53,000, okay. So we've got our 200 of them, we've got all those, got all those, got all those. Let's get, say, 500 rail. And then let's see if we can just grab some beacons. Oh, now we can't fit the rail, okay. There we go, close enough. Back we go. So there are still quite a number of bot mining operations that we need to adjust. Hopefully we get a decent benefit from each one. By going to direct mining, it certainly can't hurt. We're over this way, aren't we? Yep. Bring back our bots. And yes, there's definitely a possibility that some more mining productivity could help. What are we actually on? We're on 16, the next one's 17. It's 2 million though. 2 million. These things are only 40,000 each. Yeah, I probably should have got a few of those while we were thinking about it. Right. Give it another pass. Yes, this one is not really done at all at this point, is it? Surprisingly enough, we have a lot of those passive provider boxes. So I guess we don't actually need 200 of them. We don't really need any of those now. And the bot, the endless march of the completely exhausted bot. Come on, guys. Well, since we have some rail, what we could do is take this. I'll stop it. That is definitely not what I wanted. Why add some little flick of complexity at the end as though that's somehow desirable? Oh, come on. There we go. So we're connected to our source of supply. This quite likely will be coming up this side rather than this one, so I'm not really sure what to do about that just yet. And we need a heap of beacons just before we fly back to try and get them. Let's just actually have a look to see if we have very many beacons at this point. No, 300 odd. It's probably not enough, but we do need a few other things, so I guess we could go back. It will be slightly more by the time we get there, but certainly we've overloaded the whole beacon process at this point. Great, we've just lost a bot. Just the one, that's fine. Wow, 33. What are we doing? 250,000 green circuits is certainly something, but I'm guessing it's probably just chunk generation. Maybe it's the time of night, the PC's getting tired. It's another one that we need to do. And another one. Let's just leave it a second while these other things fill up. And then we'll grab, we couldn't actually fit all of them. So there you go. 35 UPS. When we grab more modules, I may well try and sort out that patch as well. Here we go. Will be really nice to have everything, well, all the normal science built out to the full 8,000. And we have a few more things to do for the space science. We'll do a pass up here first, just to be sure. Okay. Right, let's do this one. Needs charging, doesn't it? And it's still not enough bots, as you can clearly see. Bots. Terminology, huh? There's clearly not enough beacons, as you can clearly see. Right. Let's see if we have anything else. So, surprisingly enough, it looks like we didn't need all of those. And 100, 200, 300, yeah. Alright, so probably that. So we need in the order of 400 productivity modules and 2,000 speed modules. Which we don't have room for because we're carrying too much other junk. Never mind. Let's get what we can. There we go. $35 UPS, wow. Okay, so we said about 400, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1,300 is not enough. Let's have a quick look at production. Oh yeah, 400,000, so there's 600,000 plates. 39,000 red circuits a minute. 6,500 blue circuits a minute. Where's blue science? Way down there. That's, yeah, actually there's something about blue science that I think we're going to go and have a look at as soon as we drop these modules off, which I think is causing the problem, well, one of the problems we've got with blue science. Here we are. This won't be enough. Do your thing, guys. We actually should have over allowed for the productivity modules. Looks like that part is now completely done. Let's come down here. Should run out of speed modules fairly soon. But let's let the productivities fill out as well. Alright, that's just ridiculous. That looks like we're just about done. 32. Yes, I think we are done with everything that we can do there now. So as expected, we have a few productivity modules left. Alright, let's swap over to our normal armor. I mean, given how much time's already elapsed, there's no way we're going to have this completely built out and all the train lines connected up and all the ones down here connected up. And whatever we're missing down here, we're missing pipes. All of them provided, and well, down there actually we could use those remaining productivity modules. Let's quickly do that. That's pipes. Down here is the productivity modules. I don't think the number that we have left is going to go particularly far, but you never know. All done. Let's do 420 on the productivity research. Yeah, I mean, we still have some, but at least we used them up. I guess that makes sense. Let's go and have a look at blue science now. So it's underperforming in terms of our 4,000 per minute we're expecting out of a single batch. We've done all sorts of tests, we've modified stuff. What's the problem? I think the problem is right at the moment, actually let's fly over it. Right at the moment there's no train here. We have 23,000 waiting. We have a lot of blue science machines that aren't moving. Why aren't they moving? They're not moving because there's 400 in there and we've restricted it to 400. Now the problem with this is 400, I mean it makes sense, right? If you need to move it, only having to pick up 400 is great, but if you don't need to move it and you have a long gap between when trains come through, this is actually getting in the way now because we're not doing our 4,000 a minute. We are only doing 2,000 a minute because there's only, like, some of these probably allow for larger numbers, or they were used, or here we go, what's this one? That one's not closed, so it's going to a larger number. And that's the only reason we're building any at all, and we only have 24,000 spare. So we have enough to fill one train, but if another one comes right in behind it, it's going to end up waiting. That's no good. So I forget exactly how many Blue Science machines we have. This is just Blue Science machines, so let's live dangerously and count them this way. 47. There you go, there's a Blue Science train. 47 plus 2 is 49. There's a couple of machines in there making cogs, but otherwise, so that's 21. 49 and 21 is 70. 70 plus 2 is 72. So basically I think we want at least 72. I reckon I want at least 2 trains worth just waiting in these machines, and that's another problem right there. These are supposed to have not speed modules, definitely not speed modules, productivity modules. So we're going to go and get a bunch more productivity modules, and we're going to deal with this issue rather than finishing off our yellow science. I don't know how many more modules we need, so we're going to have to get a few. Might be too far over. Here we are. Let's get like, I think 400 is going to be too many, but let's get about that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need more speed modules anyway, but we're going to pick up a few, so maybe I'll just get something like that. And we need to come down here. I think what we want to do here is get rid of all of the diggers. Again. Looks like they'll do it all for me. And let's I might not have any spare alarms. That's a problem. Oh well. When things go wrong, this will be where they're going wrong. We might need to pick up some of these ourselves. Okay, It's copper ore we're worried about there, not iron ore. That one should be relatively easy to change when we need to. There are some that won't be. Right, we're going back to Blue Science. We're going to fix up the identified issues. Changing the modules from speed to productivity is probably not a great fix in itself. This is problematic from the looks of things. Does it work if the signal is up there? Or is that no better? It's no better. So we actually need to stop it way back here. Which means that this one is no good. It needs to be one of those. That signal is no good, and that one needs to be one of those too. We might have to check back on these guys to see if that's still a problem. And this is a bit of a problem too. Oh, and this is a bit of a problem too. Oh god. We might have a complete calamity there. Okay. Oh dear, oh dear. Alright, let's just have a look. Where are we, and where is the science that we're trying to get to? Down here, isn't it? Has this stopped? It may have stopped. So that's yellow, that's purple, here's blue here. Now there's something flashing at me. What exactly is flashing? Ah, that's flashing, okay. Damn. I had repair packs on me, but... oh, we do have, good. Damn you, train. I'm trying to fix you. Stop. Bro. Has it stopped? Good, it stopped. Why are we not working? You don't want to be fixed? Okay. You don't want to be fixed. Alright, so Blue Science. We have a number of these that for some reason have speed, so it's doing 11 speed rather than 8 speed. It might actually be slightly slower, but it's a much better use of materials. And I'm afraid we need the better use of materials. And I am going to have to check this with max rate calculator after doing these adjustments, just to make sure nothing has changed. That's terrible. Obviously never came back to change that. No. Oh, it does take those. Pretty sure this one doesn't though. No. got to use productivity wherever you can. There, I got it right on this part. Now, let's just have a quick look over here to see if I stuffed up anywhere. Doesn't look like it, so it is time to go to map mode and bring out max rate calculator. Map mode so that we can do that easily. 4032, so that's actually better. We have no deficits. Is it possible we actually have more now than we need? Maybe. But that's the main thing that we needed to sort out. Now, the other thing that we needed to sort out was the supply. So we said we had 72. I want like at least 2 more trains, so that's like 64,000. So 64. Oh, I should have kept that max rate calculator thing, shouldn't I? Because it's got a calculator. 64,000 divided by 72 machines means we want something like 1,000 in each, not 400. So when we come up here and have a look at that, that's 200, 400. It's got to be at least 5. I think I'm actually going to make it a whole row. Yeah, we need a whole row because most of these are actually being fed by 2 machines anyway. Now, some of these were completely open, so they're actually going to be constrained a little bit by this. But with a bit of luck, we should have the production going more consistently at the 4,000 per minute. Now, we can't massively exceed that target, so it's important that we at least make the target. Okay. One last row. I might just leave you. And you. Alright, so what are we getting now from blue? 4,000 a minute. Good. And I didn't need you. Okay, guys, I think I'm probably just going to leave you here at this point. Obviously, what we are trying to do is fill out this and this part, and then connect it all up. Probably end up doing some of that next episode. It also looked like I had a train jam on my hands way up here, so I probably will... What's this one? Fuel. What are we missing over here? We have fuel. We are missing the rocket control units. So this one. So it's actually this one I need to move, which means I need to move this one. So I need to back this one up. Why are you here? Right. I will go and attend to that. We'll back this up and we'll probably try and lock it here. Rather than there, and I look forward to seeing you next episode. Bye bye for now.